You know what it is? I think the longer I'm around, the more I realize that you're just riding the skill that you used to have, right? Or the talent that you used to have. And so you're just trying to front load all the practice, all the work. And then the micro example of that is hitting a billion balls in March and April and just hoping that the tournament in August goes well. Mr. Scott McClain, welcome to the PGA of BC podcast. It is a true pleasure to take some time and talk with you today.
Thanks very much for having me, Derek.
You're the head professional at Copper Point Golf Club and have been so for a good amount of time. And you don't always see it in the industry, and it's something that's pretty special. How would you describe in 3 words the last 15 years?
3 words.
Nah,
Wow.
you can go into 3,000 if you want.
Yeah, 3 words. Holy cow. I would say I enhance lives.
I mean, and for anybody that's listening that hasn't been to Copper Point or been up to your neck of the world, it is absolutely gorgeous and stunning. What is a lifestyle like up and around the Copper Point Golf Club?
Well, absolutely. I mean, just to take a step back there, to elaborate on the enhanced lives, I've been just fortunate to do what I do and experience it with lots of people. Obviously in golf, we're connecting with lots of different age demographics and groups through our staff members, through the members, the guests, all encompassing that, call it mom and pop courses all the way to, high end resort. I think you and I both have been privileged to work at Jasper Park Lodge as young professionals. And, there's more than just the work aspect there.
I can't wait to talk to you about that. That's on my notes. We're going Jasper for sure.
So it's such a variety, and I've been able to, share those experiences, and now these days help to lead teams to deliver a great experience. And I think that's the thing that's going to, take your course and your team to the next level is really focus on the overall experience that you deliver. By having all your, your systems and policies and protocols and all the little things that contribute to that. But, if you have that mindset and culture for the end result, then, at least someone knows what they're trying to get on board with. And for me, that experience has spanned, I turned a PGA professional in 1995 in Jasper, actually. So
I saw that. That's so cool. 30 years. I got my notes. That's 30 years ago.
That, didn't know what I wanted to do growing up in Southern Alberta, and took the golf program there because I was involved with that since a young age. 5, my dad and family got us into a club there. So I was lucky as a young guy to be introduced to the game at a young age. And it's always kind of been there, been part of me, but I've had other, aspects of my life as well. But golf is always there. And then it became this potential career, and then this career. And there's been a few different avenues that I've experienced as different roles in the industry. And so, encourage anyone that is, coming in and has a thought of a mindset, hey, this is what I want to do. Just know that there's lots of variety of things that you can do if you love golf and the industry, and you never know the people you meet. And, I'm now doing a podcast with Derek Orr. I mean,
isn't that that on the bucket list, eh?
Well, it's checking at the moment for sure. So that since 1995, that's been a lot of time, and young professional in the industry, learning from so many different mentors. Alan Carter was up there. Everybody knows AC, and working with reps and manufacturers. And I got a chance to meet a lot of different folks and see a lot of different swings and see a lot of different facilities. So from all those experiences, I've been able to tap into what I found works well at those places, and introduce them little bits at a time, and to contribute to what I try to offer here, and contribute to our team. And for Copper Point, that's my 16th year here now, 13th as the head professional. And, our GM Brian Shaw, another mentor, well known and respected in the industry. Uh, we're on the mindset of we have a responsibility as golf operators and managers and um, facilities to grow this game. Yes, we got a freebie from COVID and the surgence of golf. We tried to hang on to those interested. The future is the kids, and each course needs to do something on their own to grow that, and often that experience allows them to continue golfing, and then that's one of the aspects to grow our game and essentially our business. So
The bigger the light you shine on past and how it influences maybe your perspective and goals and how you do things now, I mean, you touched on it right away, the experience, right? And consider cutting your teeth at the Jasper Park Lodge, and more specifically the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. I mean, you get you get drilled into you right away that it's, people come to the golf course to play golf and it's beautiful there, but there's nice places everywhere, and what defines you from one to another is what happens when you're there, and the stuff you can control is the experience. And it's really cool. So if you think back to those times, would you consider there were pivotal moments that gave you either an aha moment or moments in your early professional days to kind of guide you on a direction that you see yourself in now?
for sure, I mean, obviously, first time away from home, was up in Jasper, and we had fun, and we also worked. And what a location to enjoy, tapping into nature. That's always been a huge part of my life, and is has continued to be a huge part, to be in nature. I've got a separate winter career that we can dive into, that I'm into nature all the time, and uh, I find value in that experience, from the early standpoint with my professional career, being up in Jasper. I would think that really learned what it was to be a golf professional. So I guess I was 19 at the time, and there's only so much experience and knowledge that you can amass before that. But Alan Carter AC definitely had a great impact. Many other young professionals at the time, you know, Trevor Goplin,
I was going to say, you would have worked with Gopper back then, yeah?
Boy, Cam Muirhead, Jeff Murdoch. I mean,
Cool.
Sawatsky, these guys, um, as a young, impressionable, young pro that, got my card that first summer at Mill Woods in Alberta, played in 76, 75 when you had your A and your B card and you had to play 36 in one day. Um, the next year they went to Wolf Creek for like 7 years. So I thought that was lucky on the timing for where I had my PAT. But then it was like, okay, well, I'm 19. I'm a pro now, whatever that means. How does this work? You shouldn't always consider the dollars and cents as the best way to find that opportunity. It's looking at the bigger picture of, okay, I can be exposed to this type of facility, or this person is someone I want to learn from. I encourage new professionals to look at opportunities. If the current situation, you're looking, you're stuck or something, that um, you know it, it's okay to move on and try something new. Back to your original question on, was there a pivotal moment? I think I was given a pass a couple times up in Jasper. Um, you know, Being late. And I'll never forget AC. I was kind of in there ready for putting my name tag on the desk and saying, you know what? I know this is the straw. Um, no excuses. And he said, I don't want to give up on someone that I believe has a future in this industry. So I took that as a wake up call, as well as a little responsibility to say, hey, you know what? There's an opportunity here, and I'm going to improve, and I'm still here.
Yeah, like Alan Carter was so good for that. He was polarizing, and AC, I hope you see this because the level of respect we have for you is magic, but also he was and kind of still is. He's a tough egg to crack sometimes, but man, I love that because you almost had to earn the respect and earn the ability to kind of be part of someone that he believed in. And so I always appreciate it and still do after years and years. Kid, I tell you what, we maybe played 10 9-hole matches with him over the years, and it was always $5, right? And I knew I was going to get him to sign the $5 if I ever got five off him. I never took five off him, and it just drives me crazy. So one day, I'm still holding out that I'm gonna get $5 off Alan Carter. I would be remiss from reading this off your bio on Copper Point's website. All right, PGA of BC listeners, listen to Scott's accolades. PGA of BC top 100 golf professional from 2015 to basically now. You've never missed it. PGA of BC Professional of the Year 2020, 2015, 2014, PGA of BC Coach of the Year 2012, 2011, PGA of BC Junior Leader of the Year 2011, PGA of BC Teacher of the Year 2010. I think you're doing pretty good as you navigate your way through the golf industry. When you hear those, what comes to mind to you as a look back on some of that recognition?
I think those are always, look at them a couple different ways. Initially, it's validation for all the stuff that we've done. Um, Sometimes it doesn't feel like it should be validated. It's like, well, yeah, but I know this pro or that pro or these guys, like they're way more uh, dedicated, or this year they, it's like, why haven't they been? So, sometimes those awards, those are amazing to be recognized. And obviously, since I moved down here to Copper, we've been really involved in the PGA of BC. With lots of facets in there. That's one of ours. Kind of, to be a professional here, that you need to be in the top 100. That's one of the main things, and that ensures that our team not only is dedicating time for themselves, but also giving back the association, the community, engaged. I mean, that's one of the keys. I think we can go in and, hey, I got this job and we're doing our time, and then I just can't wait till the end of the day and all that stuff. But PGA BC, PGA Canada, I think when you look at all the members, I'm just so inspired when I hear a little bit of somebody else's story and what got them to where they are. And although they're so different, there's one, like, one or a few commonalities that uh, the that professional is, there's so much passion there. So, any PGA BC members that are listening, the small little things that we're all doing make a huge difference.
So cool. I'm really glad you brought it up because we had a very, very, very similar start. I worked 2 years at McCall Lake in Calgary. That was my first PGA job. And Jay Wilson, I was working at Jay Wilson Pro Shop, and he used to be a pro up in Jasper back in the day. And we had a late night dinner, and he heavily suggested that I go work up in Jasper. And now I'm up at Canada's #1 golf resort. So I'm going to trade shows and buying shows, and there's awards nights, and you're looking at these people that I have no idea who they are, and you're still kind of just learning how to be a professional in a room. And I remember, you may have done this too. We would, when the buying show was in Penticton, we would, right? Did you do this where you would drive out to Penticton? You would view product in Penticton at the BC show, and then you would drive back to Alberta, and we would do all the buying in Alberta. And I remember Rob Anderson, and this is a big shout out to Rob Anderson, and I've told him this story. There's 100 or so people in the room, I'm sitting there, and I got nobody to talk to. you're just trying to be cool and try and fit in to
Yeah.
some degree. And he came over and chatted with me for 15, 20 minutes, and he made me feel welcome. And if you've been a PGA person for, for a few years, seek out the people that are, I mean, you can see them. And if you've never seen them before, go over and talk to them. It will make a world of difference and make them feel a part of not only the family, but the organization, and where awards are part of that at the end of the season. That is a cheat code to recognizing someone that from outside their organization. I cannot tell you how big of a difference that made in my motivation to do more in the industry and do more for PGA, BC, Alberta, whatever it is. I really am excited to ask you about something I had no idea that you did. I mean, looking at your winters, there's an off season. So reading here, can you tell me more about the Columbia Valley Search and Rescue part of your life? I don't know how many people know about this side of you. It's incredibly fascinating.
So yes, in British Columbia, uh, the search and rescue groups are volunteer in nature. There's 78, 79 across the province. Obviously out there in Vancouver and the lower mainland, North Shore Rescue. So, you look at Adventure Smart Program and Emergency Management BC. That's how we get activated through the 911 system. So police, ambulance, or fire can activate. Hey, the constable can't go out in the wilderness and go find someone that's on a glacier or cliff or lost in the wilderness. Then we're an extension of that system. And so we have specialty skills. We can find lost people that are just overdue from a hiking trip, or someone that's walked out of town and on their own. So there's lots of facets we're tasked for. That's been my volunteer chance to give back to my community and learn some great skill sets from that. And that's just year round, so as required. And sometimes I'll have to not be able to respond to a task just because I'm here at the golf course, and this particular day that's taken priority on that. So I have to be mindful of where I get it stretched. But a really dedicated team here. There's a network in place to help someone, and then we respond as required. So that's a little bit on that side of things.
It's one thing to do it in the winter, but I mean, it's a limited resource of support. So in certain situations, the call to duty, right? And that's,
Mhm.
doing a member night or men's night or whatever you're doing, and you got to go run out the shop real quick. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And, someone's in need. So obviously, a good situation is there's four kind of things. There's self, there's your team, there's a bystander, and then there's the subject. So there's kind of a priority matrix, if you will. And that allows me to, stay connected to the community and give back.
Yeah, I had no idea, and I was reading up on it. I was excited to hear you talk about it. So now Copper Point. I mean, we're talking about it's 36 holes, correct? Talk to me about not only the murderer's row of elite managers and talent and staff that you have, and maybe just some special notes that people that have or haven't been to the facility might not know or should be mindful of when thinking about Copper Point.
For sure. I'll circle back to a bit of my winter career afterwards, maybe, to elaborate on. There's a search and rescue volunteer side, and then there's something else I'm very passionate about, which I just finished
Oh,
for the season.
tell me about it. Go for it. Do both.
Okay. So in the winter, because of all this backcountry and wilderness experience, and that was one of those things where, trying to find fulfillment and what keeps me going for the summertime is many years ago when I first moved to BC, actually. So call it 25 years ago, almost 2001, came out and worked at Greywolf. So that's where Trevor Goplin comes in, and the team that was up there. I was finishing demo days in Alberta, and I came out to help Trevor and Cam Muirhead, who were working here with Peter Smith, so another great industry legend who's still in the valley, know him quite well, to help them finish off a year with Greywolf, coming out. And I thought, wow, what a cool mountain environment. You're driving up this mountain road up, and this resort is all there. And wow, look at these towering valleys and trees, and what a course! It was bent grass fairways at 4,000 feet. I mean, and no wonder it's one of the um, the must wow factor courses. It's a top 10 in the country public course. It's like peer through the trees, and I look at, is it a chairlift? I'm like, well, what's a chairlift there? It's like, 20, 50, 30 yards away. And it's going up the side of the mountain. I'm like, okay, so there's a golf course at the base of a ski resort. Like, wow, okay. So that's of course Greywolf's at the base of Panorama Mountain
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay. So not only is this awesome, this golf passion that I have is look at this winter thing. So I was like, So I lived up there for 5 years. And, I apprenticed in, I was an assistant professional there. And then I moved out to Copper Point there, 16 years ago. And up there in the winters, uh, there's this heli ski company called RK Heli Ski, based out of Panorama. And they have a winter program that operates daily and multi-day skiing via helicopters. So, talk about bucket list. Fortunate enough for me, I was able to get a little job at the restaurant, driving the shuttle bus around to the restaurant. It's a little second job to uh, running the Nordic Center in the winter, as well as booking a tea time, as well as seeing how someone's cross country skis fit in the winter. So this is as a golf pro in the winter, we were booking tea times, but I was also, on the phone with someone with September tea times, and then, oh, how does that rental boot feel over there? And I was just like, wow, look at my worlds are colliding. And so I showed up early before all my Nordic Center or Greywolf shifts to sit in on the guide meetings. Wanted to learn how to become a guide, and at the time they had this flow of what it takes, and you're like, well, holy crap, that's a lot of stuff. Not much different than becoming a PGA member, but that was a dream. I was like, this, I can't not find a way to do this, because generally
That's so cool.
really seasonal in nature. And I figured, there's maybe a way. So now I've been a fully certified ACMG, so Association of Canadian Mountain Guides ski guide for almost 13 years, working up at RK. And so that's daily and multi-day skiing in the winter from just before Christmas till just a couple of weeks ago. So around the end of March. So this year I did heli ski and golf in the same day on March 30th. I'm
How good is that?
to sneak that in. The ridge opened around April 1st. So this year was the 30th, and it's full winter up there even now. And the valley now is free of snow. Mother Nature's helped us get into really excellent condition, and so that part of my life has been, and I will say, for the guiding side of things, that there are decisions that you make that affect people's lives, and you're responsible for those people's lives. So it's enough of dictatorship, which isn't inherent to my way. I'm usually trying to be all nice, but I do enjoy laying down the law, because we're responsible for people's lives. So I get to tell you no, and I get to tell you what you can and can't do. So I try to
Control
bring
the
that to
experience.
as much as possible. And sometimes that's a little trickier said than done. I think things like situational awareness, super key out in the mountains. You need to have a head on a swivel and be aware of how things change and what things are currently. You can't be hung up with what was. You're constantly reassessing, and as it changed, and how does that affect your game plan for the end of the day, and the runs you choose. It's being adaptable and situational awareness with having some personal wellness and taking care of yourself, obviously are critical to make those decisions, and help deliver an awesome experience and fun.
So good. And I love your comments about adaptability and kind of pivoting as needed. Um, so I always think about the Mike Tyson and Vander Holyfield fight. There was an infamous interview that Iron Mike did And they were asking if he was nervous about something. I can't remember what it was, but he says, "Listen, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face." And it's exactly like that in the golf industry. You're sitting here, and we're all sitting planning the season to come and getting ready, and then torrential downpour, or snow, or someone leaves, or someone anything, and it's adaptability with the core value. And as long as the team and you are very clear on what the core value and goal for the season is, and you roll with it. But adaptability is everything, right? And especially when you're at a destination and a resort or whatever it is, you got to be able to roll with it. So Jasper, so
Brings a smile
what
to
is
every time I hear.
yeah, yeah. So with the questions, I mean, favorite place to get a bite if you get to go, if you're going back to Jasper, do you have a place to
We
eat?
kind of survived on the pizza there.
Yeah, JPP.
Yeah, there was Jasper Pizza Place. I guess back in the day, at the Bee, the Dead Dog. I mean, just like these
Huh?
places that were, and of course, when I lived there, we were lodges. We lived out at Jasper Park Lodge. So, as a
Where did you live? What was your spot?
A cabin.
A cabin. I was A34, top floor on the end. It was an awakening.
Yeah, you learn to get used to other people in your own space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We worked hard and we played hard for sure. Um, but I learned, how to be away from home, kind of for the first time. Um,
Hmm.
how to work on my game, and I mean, just you look back at Jasper and all the positive. I think outside of golf, I got on some hikes, and this place was like wow. Like everywhere you look is like how you feel in the mountains, and they just have so much energy. Um, if you're willing to listen, you probably some of the CP Rail guys and the members that are still there, birdies in the bush. I mean, talk about something that is
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
out
Yeah.
on number 7. I mean, it's hard; those are hard to
Yeah.
find days where you have this, safe place out there to, uh, have a connection. I mean, that's just next level, and that was way back what was created there. So, things like that I've taken to new places that I've been in terms of creating something that is what people are looking for, something that connects you all. And but it's that that loyalty you develop and the friendships too. You work with folks, they become your friends and family, and with the members and guests that they're many years, you really become great friends, and they're often like family. So I think back to your question a little bit about Copper Point, uh, that's the feel we want to create here, so that it's the place they want to come. They come in and we try to call them by name, and they're like, wow, well, why wouldn't I go to this place? It's got everything I love. Uh, it has, a place where I feel good and safe, and, I can spend money, I can enjoy, with my family and friends. So it's not just the physical part of that, it's who you're out there with.
So cool. Yeah, it's magic. And it gives you at least I always find this is that that's where you find the value of the industry, because we all know they're not 35-hour work weeks, and sometimes you're asked to do 15 different things, but you create these experiences and you get a kick out of it too. It's nice to provide something special that people talk about and come back 3 years later and tell you the story of what you did for them 3 years ago and how much they enjoyed that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's what always fueled me in it, and I think the people that stick it out in the industry, it's a version of that. And you're quite spoiled might not be the right word, but Copper Point is a special place, and it's cool to tow that cable together, and you obviously impart that culture on you and the team, and it's awesome. Like I can't be more complimentary to you and the operation up there. What is a favorite view from the golf course when you're out playing golf? Is there a spot on the course that you're always like, ah, man, I love this place?
It's one of those where you were in Jasper and mountain environments. I mean, anywhere where you're just out in nature, you can tap into that experience, and that's what's beautiful about um, golf in general. But specifically for us, we have the two courses. So I would say on the point course, so that's our top 100, the original course, built in 2004. That the third tee box is an elevated. You drive up to it. It's a friendly start. Hole one goes down south, nice view. Slopes sides, and generally a friendly little par three, and then three you kind of climb up. And Wade Horrocks was one of the designers with Gary Browning as the main designer here at the point course, and the reveal was a huge part of that. And I think they got introduced from Stanley Thompson influence a little bit. So a lot of courses come around and you're around a corner and then up a little rise and then like oh wow, and all of a sudden you're
That moment,
100
yeah,
yards
that's
away
cool.
from the last green, but it's a total different experience or view. So number 3 on the point course where you're elevated, you're not obscured to your view. You look west down the hole and it kind of winds through. It undulates a lot, and there's there's bunkers, and then as you go further in the distance, you come up to the Purcell Mountains, and then there's a prominent skyline feature called Mount Nelson. So it goes up, and it's just a beautiful peak looking to the west, and it's just like you could stand there for a while and just ponder and just really enjoy that. And then of course you teed up and you just smash it into the mountains, and then it just seems like it just flies for that much longer, even though ironically we're lower than Calgary in terms of our elevation. So even in the mountains, just general elevation. So that's why in Calgary and in that flat land area, it's still up at altitude, and balls still fly a little further. But out here, just against the backdrops, that's just a beauty. And so that looks west. And then on the ridge course is a little par 3, number 13, the site of my first hole in one.
First of multiple or first of one?
Of 3 so far in my career. Number 13 at the ridge here at Copper Point is one of those holes where we get close to Mount Swansea. It's one of the the local places where you can hike to the top. You can mountain bike to the top. You can paraglide off there.
Cool.
And so it gives like a very close dramatic backdrop. I guess once you're at the green looking back towards the tee, that's a really cool spot that just gives you a sense of where you are, and that the other part of our courses is the this nature concept is, at least on our point course, we don't have any housing inside the property. So to truly tap into that where, hey, you're actually out in nature on your own with your buddies, and you're hitting bombs on this hole, and wow, it just so to tap into that and offer that is one of our experiences.
Yeah, and it's sometimes you're in a moment you don't even know why it's magic, but it just is. I remember someone talking about, speaking of Stanley Thompson, and you alluded to it when you talked about it, was how Stanley Thompson, when he designed, someone told me early on that looking down the fairway to the green should be as impressive as standing on the green looking back at the tee. Now, I don't 100% understand. I mean, I get it. I understand the words. But to me, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, that's like saying the left side of the car should look the same as the right side. It's still the same car. But it does give this call out to, if you were in the desert, that would not make a lot of sense. But when you were in where you are and you've got these dynamic backdrops, it's being able to use them when you're standing on the green and on the tee box, using that stuff that's outside of the course to frame it nicely and create something pretty special. But it's a cool thing that not a lot of people will pay attention to, and that's what makes special courses
And
cool, right?
And to Jasper, I think this is the 100th year, if I'm not mistaken, 1925. And
Yeah.
Stanley
Wow.
Thompson, 80 horses and 200 people. So that's how built and pulled. So nowadays it's I'm sure the technology with surveying and LiDAR and all that kind of stuff for course design, it's like plunk plunk plunk. And whereas they they needed to have that eye, they need to hike up on a little rock outcrop and see what they see, and visualize the forest through the trees, or the fairway through the trees, so to speak. And We went back a couple of years ago with those that I mentioned earlier, Trevor Todd, Cam Merds, myself, and had a 25-year little reunion, and the director up there, Talon there is what's an amazing guy. I mean, he's taken that place into the next level and continuing some of the legacy. He was a gracious host, and we even got to play with him one of the days, and we went back, and he asked me if it's changed much, and no, it hadn't really changed much at all, and it didn't have to from the time I was there, 25 years ago, and just a testament to that vision, and it's JPL.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of my time there in that facility. So I think the audience is just lucky we didn't talk about Jasper for an entire hour, because it could be a 9-hour podcast. What are some things that when you even just 35,000-foot view of the season, what are some goals or things you're looking forward to? What does this season look like for you and your team?
We are extremely excited for this year. Every year, it's getting better and better and better. And we have influence from Alberta because of our proximity, so that can be influenced by many things. Over the years, we've had fires in Alberta, we've had floods in Alberta, we've had COVID. But one thing is for sure, our areas is one of the last kind of hidden gems that people are looking for something that's a little quieter and stuff. And by no means in the midsummer is it that quiet, but that still exists out here for a reasonable cost when you compare to other destinations of the island, Vancouver, the interior, and so it's only getting busier and more popular out here. We're a destination with Columbia Valley Golf. I think there's 9 courses in 25, 27 minutes from one another. We're kind of right at the middle of that, so we expect another busy season with both courses. Our point course and ridge course are a couple of the busiest ones in the whole area. And last year we had our busiest season on record for golf rounds, and very successful in terms of us. So we're continuing that motivation and momentum. We have, the other thing that really helps me out is our team. When you look at, maybe 120 staff, when you look at across maintenance and all golf operations, probably on average across the board, in that 70-75% retention. So when you look at that, and some of that is 10 years plus for many of those. So creating a place where someone can have a lifestyle role and room for growth. So to answer your question back on this year, super excited. Lots of returning team members. Obviously, with our PGA staff, we have Brian Shaw, our executive director, Dale Moore, director of instruction, seasoned, veteran and experience with teaching and all things golf related, and Matt Gillette, our assistant professional, soon to get his associate role. So there's some room for growth, and apprentice professional Jen Perry. So she's going for a card. She had a knee surgery earlier, so that again, those challenges that we come in, she's going to have to dig deeper down the road. And it's like, well, this was the year to get my card, and it's like, well, you know what? It's going to have to be something different. So how do you take this challenge to turn it into opportunity?
That's
And
right.
and away you go. So from our team, we're super thrilled and excited. One little shout out for on a retail side of things, we've moved to a partnership with Levelwear, which is an amazing Canadian apparel company. And obviously you've seen some players on tour, Court Connors, Hadwin, and LPGA. And so we're doing some really exciting things with the Levelwear company with customizing. And so that's just the tip of the iceberg. But you're going to have to come and check it out.
So I can't wait. And an additional shout out to Levelware. If you aren't Man, if you aren't carrying at least a little bit of their stuff, you'd be remiss from a retail. And I have a bit of a passion and background for retail, and I always found their catalog is gigantic, but their customization and all that stuff is great. It's starting to sound like a levelware commercial. But what I'm saying this for is it's a great Canadian brand supported by our Canadian tour players, and really always checked at the retail, especially if, for a destination like Copper. I mean, I know that'll be nice, and it's Canadian made.
Absolutely. In terms of our operational standpoint, we'll do up to 55,000 rounds between the two courses, and that's the 6.5 month season. So we're
That is a lot of bodies. That's crazy.
we're up and running roughly April 1st. So there is uh, all my friends and colleagues out on the West Coast and Lower Mainland. We're sort of wrapping up the season in the fall and kind of see some light at the end of the tunnel. And I know it doesn't really stop out there, so I'm always not trying to rub it in too much when we get to the tail end of the year. But we have a motivation to get to that end result. And so back to your question about what are some things you're trying to work toward, and goal setting is I'm trying to prepare myself enough to perform productively. And I guess that means that all the stuff I've done in the wintertime. So I'm still in weekly when I'm not out heli ski guiding or ski tour guiding to help set myself and the team up for success. And so those things are all the stuff and the tangibles that you have to get off your ass and do. That if people are like, well, hey, what was your motivation, all this stuff? It's just throwing it out there. You have to get her done. You have to just dig deep, and whatever that is, if you're a procrastinator and perfectionist and all that kind of stuff that contributes to why things weren't done, just know that you just have to dig deep and get it done. And that means that, some other things may need to get sacrificed for that. So you have to look at the big picture. And so for that is, setting up, some systems in place. And we're trying to tap into AI a bit more to like time saving and all the administrative stuff that just takes so much time. And in season, it's so hard to plan and vision and look for these other things if it hasn't been done a little ahead of time. So, utilizing some of these new tools to help us, save time so that, we can be our best selves. So, I think just being realistic with yourself, working around with the team that's around you, both above and below. If you're, if you're on a scaled chart, um, and reaching out to others. I mean, I just, this is great that we're chatting like this, but even just shooting the crap, even whenever we see each other in the fall or something like that, is always, I just, it's like, oh man, I got some time with Derek. And so everyone here has somebody and people that you can, reach out to, and just to try to help, you know, keep it as important as possible. But it's way too important to take seriously, just like life. So
The truth. Isn't that the truth, right? We're all in this together. And this goes back to a COVID comment I heard one time, but I thought it was kind of relatable. We're all ships in the same storm, but from a golf camaraderie, PGA camaraderie, we're all ships in the same sea. We don't do it as much as we would like necessarily, but it is the butter to the bread. So Scott, I mean, spending an hour with you is a treat. I mean it. It's cool to hear about some of the things you've done and things that you're planning to do and everything in between. I would be remiss to say you're one of the more what do I want to say, Renaissance style people, and kudos to you for creating a legacy and doing something special and being you.
well, thanks so much, Derek. I've enjoyed the time here. It's not rocket science. I think if you're genuine, if you're yourself, if you're aware of your situation, and you work hard, you're gonna find some rewards. But it's not going to be without its challenges. Absolutely, 100%. And so, you and I maybe are from a little older. I think I got you by a few years.
Yeah.
But now,
Tons of years. Yeah.
nowadays, I think it's so much more challenging because what's out in the media, we learn through people and learning in person. I think that still happens. But where the benchmark or the perceived benchmark is, what's acceptable, what's this and what's that. I think it's a little out of whack and skewed. So I think, it's more important now as ever to, find those values that we were brought up with, like treat others how you want to be treated. Everyone's in the same boat. And like you said, life's not easy, but it can be so rewarding as well as being fleeting at times. So it's everything in the middle, and just knowing that, we have avenues, we have ourselves, find the joy in every day and moment. Uh, it's out there, and you've had it before, and you can have it again.
Print that, put it on a t-shirt. Scott McClain. Absolute dream. Thanks, pal. I appreciate you taking the time, and enjoy not only the rest of today, but a prosperous and enjoyable and fulfilling season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate me having you on to the PGA BC podcast.